One weakness we all struggle with is temptation. Paul understands what it means to be mortal and fight against sin. Listen to his words in Romans chapter 7. The trouble is not with the law, for it is spiritual and good. The trouble is with me, for I am all too human, a slave to sin. I don't really understand myself, for I want to do what is right, but I don't do it. Instead, I do what I hate. I want to do what is right, but I can't. I want to do what is good, but I don't. I don't want to do what is wrong, but I do it anyway. Paul could be talking about life today. A girl gets home from school and says, I got to do my homework right now, but I'll just look at Instagram for a minute. Or a return missionary says, I'm committed to waking up early to read the scriptures, but when the alarm goes off, I always hit snooze. Another person promises, for sure I'm going to the temple next week. Paul writes, I love God's law with all my heart, but there is another power within me that is at war with my mind. This power makes me a slave to the sin that is still within me. Oh, what a miserable person I am. While there are several possible meanings of this passage, and the JST adds some important insights, one possible way to interpret these verses is that Paul at times felt a tug-of-war between the natural man and his desire to come closer to Christ. Nephi may have felt this too. He wrote, O wretched man that I am, my heart sorroweth because of my flesh, my soul grieveth because of mine iniquities. I am encompassed about because of the temptations and the sins which do so easily beset me. And when I desire to rejoice, my heart groaneth because of my sins. Nephi built a boat and followed the Liahona. Paul traveled thousands of miles and stood firm in the face of persecution. Nephi and Paul were good, righteous people. They, like all of us, continued to face temptation even though they wanted to do what was right. They and we struggled at times. How could that weakness be a feature, not a defect? After describing his own inner battle between good and evil, Paul wrote, Who will free me from this life that is dominated by sin and death? Thank God, the answer is in Jesus Christ, our Lord. Perhaps the weakness of sin can be a feature as it helps us turn more deeply to Christ. In fact, Paul said, I am glad to boast about my weaknesses so that the power of Christ can work through me. Weaknesses can give occasion for Jesus to work in us. There was once a man who started drinking alcohol as a college student in the northeastern United States. By the time he started medical school, his drinking was interfering with his classes, and he temporarily had to leave school. For nearly 20 years, he tried to juggle work, family, and his alcohol addiction. Finally, after decades of struggle, this man, along with a few other individuals, started an organization that today numbers in the millions. I'm talking about Dr. Bob Smith, the co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous. There's no doubt that alcohol was a weakness for Dr. Smith. But through Jesus Christ, this weakness became a strength. Dr. Smith wrote, I don't believe I have any right to get cocky about getting sober. It's only through God's grace that I did it. I may have contributed some activity to help, but basically it was only through his kindness. Weakness, even the weakness of sin, can be a feature that helps us focus more on Jesus Christ and rely on him.
To see more videos like this one, simply search Seeking Jesus.